do your dailies.
Daylight time. Whoa, dude, we got a mini map now?
We've had a mini map forever.
Mm.
Literally since launch.
Shit.
How did bro not know we had a mini map?
I'll turn Genshin off right now.
You did it to yourself.
Make fun of me again. Okay, why is it so quiet? There we go. I was like, where's the music?
The song that was playing had like just ended.
So we're gonna play as her.
And this is a trial. And Siege Queen has a really cool ability.
Whoa.
You can trap enemies in a bubble. You're the Hydro Abyss Mage now.
She is gonna decimate.
By royal decree.
Getting you! Frost is coming!
Let's see.
She also got the Glicky.
I swear it's for medical research.
I swear, it's for medical research.
Now I'm mad! Midnight Phantasmagoria! No, my sword!
Commencing cleanup! Hair! Frost is coming! Hair! Getting you!
Odds, reveal thyself! Shadow Raven! Don't be nervous! Just relax! Rain cutter!
Day's reckoning! Hair! Frost is coming! Hair! As you wish, mein Fräulein.
I summon thee!
Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power of the wild.
Let's see! I swear it's for medical research! Oh.
Hope you're not getting sick again. And you die.
Don't manifest it, bruh. You gotta do your dailies.
Yeah, usually they get like done by themselves somehow.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
Over here! Didn't quite go yet.
Game set. Time's over. Gotcha. Quietly now. Busted. Take it easy.
Booba, get them! I'll protect us.
Quietly now.
Step on up. Let the magic begin. Nice and spicy.
Here comes the catch. Gotcha.
Ad Astra. Thank you for complete. Huh? Do you also see Navia and Clorinde over there? They look like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on.
Still no dice?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court of Fontaine already. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Fremine, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he didn't know.
What about Chiori and Charlotte? I feel like both of them would be more than up to it.
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave the members of the Spina a few days off too, so I don't want to bother them either.
This is getting pretty difficult.
Navia, Clorinde, what's up? Oh my. Well, if it isn't my dear partners. How are you all doing?
Huh. Navia?
Huh? Oh, you mean...
Yep, this is our chance.
Do you need our help with something? Oh, precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge problem right now that only you can solve. Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
Tell me about it.
Traveler, Paimon, would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment Day? Marechaussee what now?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters with your friends. Oh, I've loved their stuff ever since I was a kid. That sounds super interesting. Clorinde and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up with a new script and was looking for people to help playtest it for them. And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse. I mean, come on, a brand new script? Nobody has ever played it before.
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of development have a lot of issues. But I think this one is pretty solid. The author obviously put a lot of work into the story, and the world building is also quite credible.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet. No spoilers, please.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4. Ah, yes. We're missing one final player right now.
You're right, that is a big problem.
So, you're saying you'll help us out? Look, I knew I could count on you, partner.
Simon and the Traveler are kind of a package deal. Is that okay?
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players, and ensure that everyone has a good time.
Well, Traveler, what do you think? Wanna play? Timer will follow your lead.
Sure, let's do it.
Well, that solves our problem. You have our thanks.
Woohoo! I'll go grab the script manager from the club right away. The script manager? Didn't you just say that you gave Clorinde the script?
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for the script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. The script manager provides the next part of the script only after players have completed the current list of objectives. On top of that, in order to increase player immersion, the club has created some of the story's sets and scenes in real life. We'll only know where we should go once the script manager reveals the starting location.
Wow, you're right. Whoever wrote this script really did put in a lot of work.
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right? I mean, even the GM doesn't know how the story will end.
I look forward to experiencing it with you all.
Why don't you go meet up with the others first? They should all be waiting at Chioria Boutique. I'll come over with the script manager as soon as I find them.
Sounds good. Remember to always watch where you're going, and don't rush.
You say that like I'm 6 years old or something. Let me think. What kind of character should I play this time?
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh, and stop trying to persuade every animal you come across. Sorry to keep you waiting.
You're back! Huh? And you've got the Traveler and Paimon with you too!
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for the game then?
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too. Are you also members of the tabletop troupe?
Hey, you two.
I'm more of a casual member of anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette Fremenning, I play something similar at the Hotel Booth d'été sometimes, but I'm usually the GM. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Clorinde simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and asked if I wanted in.
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount on membership fees.
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first, especially when it comes to the quality of the script. If it's sufficiently fun, then I'll join.
Do you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe activities, Clorinde?
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game masters of the troupe.
Right. I knew about that even when she was still my subordinate.
It's nothing. Really, just a small hobby of mine.
Wow. I'm not so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as a champion duelist. It's kind of hard to imagine you role-playing with a bunch of friends.
So if we have a problem with any of the rules, do we have to submit a duel request to you?
Surely you jest. I would never intentionally make things difficult for my players. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal lives. The me you see at court represents the law and order of Fontaine. I put all personal feelings to the side, and grant a fair duel to all who seek to defend their honor. But in my personal life, I'm just an ordinary person. Someone who feels anger and sadness, just like everyone else.
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. I've seen you get angry, sure, but now I'm wondering whether you were actually mad or if it just looked that way from the outside.
I was probably in work mode during those times.
Is that so? Well, in any case, I just feel like even in your personal life, you don't get emotional very often.
So you want to see me cry? That might be a little difficult. A show of anger, though, that might be something I could accomplish.
No, that's not what I meant. I'm back. Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager, Mr. Florian.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Hello. Wait, are you a champion duelist too, Mr. Florian?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally play a few of the roles in my scripts.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive experience. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief introduction of the script. This script was adapted from the real history of the Marashose Hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve a series of events unfolding in the capital.
I'm not super familiar with the history of the Marashose Hunters. Is that a problem?
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marashose Hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters.
I don't know why, but I have an idea of like a person scamming 5 people saying go to this part of the map for a great grand adventure, and then he gives each of them LSD, and then he's just like, take this, and it's like, what's that? And it's a key to a gateway to a new dimension, and they all start punching the wall.
Bro.
Brave hunters, are you ready to set out on an unknown adventure?
And it's like the LSD was like $20 per person, and he made each person pay 100. That's the
I see
scam.
many a determined gaze before me.
That's crazy.
Very well. Head over to this
That would be
location
crazy.
and begin your heroic journey.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scenes? Ooh, sounds pretty innovative. What does the message in the envelope say?
It's the exact location of the scene, as
The
well as the
map
formal
makes you
permission to
tired.
use the venue. Seems like they have everything
Does it?
prepared. Please check all your belongings,
so.
everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten anything.
All
Once you're
the
ready, please follow me to the
what's in
designated
it?
location.
Like, what's the main thing in that shit? Sugar?
Rice.
No, not rice. There's like a certain ingredient that makes you tired, like sugar maybe.
Sugar's not exactly a downer.
Carbs?
Probably the carbs from the rice and the meat.
Is that what it is? So,
Those
like,
are all pretty weighty things.
It makes you tired.
May want to teleport.
When I'm done with Genshin, you want me to get you set up out there? Or do you want to actually stay up with me?
I'm trying my best to.
Hell yeah. Are we going to a beach?
They really
This is
have thought
dope.
of everything. Even the phaetometer is here and ready to go for us.
So what's happening here? We're about to play D&D?
Well, what's that?
It's a card that's
This
used
is
to
a
determine
good
action
quest.
success
That's why I
or
wanted you to do
failure.
it.
We'll need to use it when we try to use certain skills.
And what about all the dessert and tea? Is that for us as well?
That's what the message said.
What?
Really?
Where you going?
So nice. It feels just like a tea party with friends.
Those snacks have Pilots name written all over them.
Tired of watching you itch.
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than a Marashose hunter, Paimon.
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found, Paimon will track down every last one.
The desserts
Man.
are great. But I'm still looking forward to the story more than anything.
You're welcome.
Very fair. Then, let us begin. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you and write down your name and profession. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. If you have any questions, feel free
She
to ask
jacks
me.
off to ogres,
In
I
this
think.
story, everyone is a Marashose
What are
hunter.
you talking
To reflect
about?
this,
You
the
know how,
cards
like,
prepare a small badge for everyone.
Those hot girls have like those kinks in fantasy games?
As hunters, you have
I
proficiency
feel like she
in
has the
swordsmanship
weirdest
and
kink, but
fighting
she won't
by
tell
default.
anybody about it.
So there's no need to allocate
That's
any
Clorinde.
additional skill points to those areas.
And it could not even be ogres. It could be something else that's weird. Maybe tentacles.
Meat churls.
Paimon not sure she can do all that
Come
on
on,
her own.
it's the Genshin universe. Think of something from Genshin.
But you know what I mean.
I get you.
Why don't you
That's
check
what
the character
she's be
card then?
thinking about.
The traveler
I
will be the
drove
Marashose
his
hunter, and you
mages.
can be his little floating assistant.
No, that would be stupid.
She likes to be constrained.
Anyway.
Do I fill it out with a name?
Why is that cup so big?
It can be any name you like.
Big cup. I
Just-
want a
Use your
big
real
cup.
name too if you
Actually,
want.
Hydro
I
Flask
do that
dropped
whenever I
new
get too
cups,
lazy
and I
to
want
think
one
of a
so
new
bad.
name.
But they're like $40.
Oh, so it would be
Hmm?
like
Hydro Flask
like
dropped a new
experiencing
cup.
a different life.
And it's the same
That's still
shape as like a
as
Stanley
yourself.
cup. It's like a 40-ounce mug with a handle and a straw and a lid. And it's like
In that
ombre,
case,
and I want it
I think
so
I'll continue
bad,
to
but it's
use
like
the name Winnie
$40.
then.
Next up is the skill sheet. You
I
have a
see.
limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills. The more points you invest in a particular skill, the easier it will be to pass associated checks.
So literally
Okay.
D&D.
Persuasion and investigation. Those are must-haves when it comes to missions like these. Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for gathering intelligence. Good idea, Navia. Just as expected of a veteran player.
So should we also take those skills then?
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave the negotiations to Navia.
Not gonna
and use our
lie,
skill points to pick up other useful skills.
this is a weird ass quest when you think about
I think I'll
Clorinde's
take
actual
stealth
job.
and sleight of hand. That
Like,
will
just
give
think
us
about
more
it.
options when
Like,
we run
I bet
into
people are like,
situations we can't
so
negotiate
are
our
we
way
gonna
out.
duel someone? Are we gonna like go to a violent quest of vengeance and betrayal as the duelist of Fontaine? I bet that's what we're gonna have to do, right? And it's like, no, D&D. And we're like, oh, okay. Wait, what?
Arts
No, just play the quest.
and performance. I'm not quite sure what useful be.
They're just like
but
D&D.
I'm not as knowledgeable
This is actually
about
a
the
really
other skills.
dope quest.
And
No,
No,
I-
I'm making fun of it, but it's a good quest. I'm just making fun of it.
No, I'm saying you haven't even started it yet.
Traveler.
I know we're gonna probably go after someone, huh? Eventually and shit. But like,
Something cool happens later.
but you get what I mean.
I get your point. They're tricking you right now.
Gotta say, this suits you really well. Nothing boosts morale like good food. Ooh, so you want to help people when they're injured. That's nice of you. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Let's see. Oh, looks like you each have enough points to choose one final skill.
You all pick such classic skills. It's fine to go a little bit out of the box, you know.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here. Summon. Doesn't it sound super mysterious and cool?
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used under certain circumstances to summon characters or creatures that fit the script's world-building rules.
The script's world-building rules, huh? But how are we supposed to know what a Marashose hunter can summon?
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you, and the GM will take care of the rest.
Alright, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn summon then. Paimon can't wait to see what kind of thing shows up.
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished creating their characters, we can begin. Since 2 of our players are doing this for the first time, though, let me ask. Would you like to play on easy mode or authentic mode?
What's the difference between the two?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the players and the results of the Fatometer. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. A critical failure may even result in further negative consequences. If you choose to play in authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the Fatometer to see whether you succeed or fail, and face any consequences that may follow. If you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful.
Critical
by
fails
default,
are so
and
funny.
you won't have to
Like,
worry
if you
about
fail
luck
something,
being
like, say, sex, it's like, okay, so I just couldn't get hard, right? But a critical fail is like you tried to have sex, but then the girl brought out a knife and stabbed your dick.
Or like you tried to have sex with this woman, but you took out your penis and she did nothing but laugh at you.
No. That's not a critical fail. You gotta think critical fail means you can't do it no more.
Your dick fell off.
She cut it off. Like, that's a critical fail. It's like, oh, I'm about to fuck this bitch. And she just cuts it off. It's like black screen, critical fail. Now you can't fuck the rest of your life.
I loved critical fails in Baldur's Gate. Because, like, you try to shoot an enemy. Nah, too big, big dog. Too big, big dog.
A good fail was, where, like, you try to convince a guard to let you pass and they stab you in the eye, making you blind for a turn or two. It's like, let me pass. And you're like...
Like, what? What did I do?
You failed critically.
Given that I'd like to focus on the story, I suppose I should pick easy mode. I'd feel bad if I brought the team down by failing my checks.
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. RNG is the lifeblood of role-playing games. I'm going with authentic mode for sure. Never knowing what you might have to overcome. Ugh, doesn't that sound exciting?
I'd rather be mentally prepared for what might happen.
Alright,
Pussy.
then I'll mark down for Rena for easy mode.
It's her first time
All her
playing.
checks will be successful
Pussy.
by default.
She's just a sweet
As
girl.
usual, Navia and Lenny will play on authentic mode.
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Authentic mode.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Trust me, you'll see the beauty of RNG. Honestly, I don't think Clorinde would make things too difficult for us no matter what the Fatometer says. Isn't that right, Clorinde?
No promises.
That wasn't super reassuring.
Well, anyway, enough talk. Let's get started. I want to experience at least a good chunk of the story today.
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene on a beach?
Well, that's because a long time ago, back when human civilization was still
Oh,
in its
this is
infancy,
cool.
powerful demons and
I
evil
love it.
sorcerers ruled over the land. They created a host of monsters and sent them to slaughter all humans in existence. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, subdue each and every monster that sought their destruction. They became known as the Marechaussee Hunters.
Loading screen.
Oh, it's a loading screen. There wasn't any loading anywhere. I was so confused. So I was just like, picture.
Like, you know how Wuthering Waves has that, like,
Sometime
scenery?
As a member of the Marechaussee Hunters, you receive
As the
a
loading
commission.
screen?
Following
There's
the
loading,
address
though.
provided on the message, you take a boat and arrive at this strange city.
No,
As
she's
you
acting like a
inhale,
4-year-old,
you
guys.
taste
Watch out.
this slightly salty air.
We lost
Suck.
her.
As you begin
We
to
lost
survey your
her.
surroundings. There aren't many people in the vicinity, but you do take note of a few others who, like you, seem to be sizing up this place. Your eyes meet, and you realize these people are fellow Marechaussee Hunters, likely led to this location after receiving the same commission as you.
You're all Marechaussee Hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade, and helpful neighborhood businesswoman on the side. What say you to traveling together?
Baldur's
We can
Gate,
help each
eat
other
your
out on
heart
the
out.
road.
Yeah.
Okay,
Baldur's Gate didn't
Count
have
me
shit
in.
on this.
My name is Lynn. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a Marechaussee hunter and later chose to follow in his footsteps.
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone? It sounds like they've done this dozens of times.
My name is Farina, and, I grew up in a noble family.
I always had a strong interest in performance and the arts.
Even though I'm a Marechaussee
Man,
hunter,
I would thrive here. I
really
hate my
wanted
life.
To be a performing
Be someone I'm
artist.
not.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
I
That's
love
really
you.
cool.
I love you too.
You can do it,
I
Farina.
don't want you to
That's
be someone
exactly how
else.
it's done.
But you know what I mean.
Paimon, a good
No, I
friend
get
and
it.
companion to this Marechaussee hunter right here.
Why is this weed so fucking tough to grind with your fingers?
Why isn't it?
Shut up.
We used to be doctors. We used to be chefs.
I've been studying the culinary arts since I was a child. I hope my delicious food can
The
help
Traveler
boost
gets
people's
voice lines.
spirits.
They
That's
paid
wonderful.
Tanjiro
I'll be
again.
looking forward to your cooking.
He's
during
like,
our
"Give me
social
10K."
together.
We're all here for the same commission.
No, I heard
Why don't we take
Lumine
some
talk
time
when
to
I did
confirm
this,
what
and I
you
was
want
like,
to do?
holy shit, she's
Open the
talking.
envelope at the bottom. The message reads, "To the honorable and trustworthy Marechaussee Hunters, our kingdom is currently facing
Oh
a
my
grave
God.
crisis.
I was genuinely
The
so
lands
shocked.
outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness. We
Do you
beseech
recognize the map?
Please help us resolve this crisis.
Are we in
and
Mondstadt?
return peace and stability to our
Not
home."
really, but they used Mondstadt for
Why
this.
does this city look super familiar? It kind of reminds Paimon of Mondstadt.
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up with the map.
They just didn't want to.
So you don't want me playing Wuthering Waves while you're out,
As
huh?
experienced hunters,
No, I want
the
to do
layout
it
of the
myself.
city
I'm
reminds
very
us of
excited.
places once traveled.
I have been itching for more WoW up.
Days gone by.
And I'll play
Yet, as you regard the city in front of you,
World of
appears to be
Warcraft
little
or
more than an
Elden
empty
Ring
shell.
until you go to bed.
its hollow
After I'm
gates
done
are
with this.
open to you, beckoning you to come forth and bring salvation back to the town.
I carefully read
I
every
might
line
eat
of the
the
letter
rest of my
and turn
food
my
in a little.
attention to the signatures at the bottom.
Have it out
Who
there before you
issued
go
this
to bed.
commission to us?
You see a
So you have something to
long
look forward
string
to.
of unfamiliar
I was thinking
names.
so I could like
It
refuel.
would seem that many of the residents
You
of
know,
the city issued
Okay.
this commission
That's-
together.
What I'd do.
They sensed that things were not right within the
Food
kingdom
is fuel.
and sent a distress
It is.
signal to the outside world.
In that case, Why don't we take a walk around the city and see if we can learn anything from the local residents?
Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monsters and bad guys we're after.
I love Navia's little caricature.
You look up and see a tavern
All of
nearby.
them are so cute.
It appears to be open for the day.
Why don't we
Have
go
you
check
seen
out that
Paimon's
tavern?
yet?
If the novels I've read
I
are anything to
haven't.
go by,
You know what I
taverns
want?
are usually full of
I
information.
want them to make. You know how there's Elden Ring mods? I want an Elden Ring mod of like all the Genshin characters. Just as enemies in the open world. Imagine Farina
As, you
as like
approach the
Morgott
tavern,
the Fell.
you find a
open.
plainly
Why
dressed
is she
woman standing
Morgan?
nearby. She appears
This
to be
is
rather
dope.
troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today, don't you think?
But she doesn't have to be. She could be Renala for all we know, or
I suppose
Rilana.
you're right.
Just like
The weather
imagine
is quite lovely.
like you get like Lenny cross-eyed looking at you and he's like a boss.
It seems that
Okay, if we're
every
actually like
character
comparing these
has a
characters
certain
to
amount of useful information.
Elden Ring
We
characters.
don't gotta compare them. I'm
No,
saying
like,
like
I'm genuinely curious now. Like, who do you think who would be?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the funniness of like you know how when they made Bart a boss in Elden Ring,
Oh yeah.
like just seeing random Genshin characters when you walk into a boss arena and it's like the cutscene
Huh?
of like a giant dragon jumping down, but it's just like
I
Klee.
don't think that's the kind of question.
That would be so funny. And then like
Klee, a dragon, that's crazy.
like they keep the voice lines and something like "You foul, wretched tarnish," and it's just Klee mouthing it.
Who's that one guy with the fire in the DLC?
Mesmer,
You don't
That's
really look
Klee.
like a chef.
just holding it.
Besides,
I want that.
I'm not really a
Make
fan
Klee
of
Mesmer.
So you're someone
I
who
would
barely
so
smiles.
replay just to fight Klee.
You're really starting to remind me of this one friend of mine.
This summer, the collab you've been waiting for.
Hey,
Genshin meets Elden Ring.
That'd be
Fight
crazy.
Klee as the Mesmer.
Clorinde must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us
Look at
anywhere.
Paimon.
Traveler, maybe you can think of something.
It's like steampunk. I'll cook something right now.
Are you sure? In
Positive.
that case, please refer to the fatometer.
$19.
Whoa, it was a success!
You remain silent as you prepare a pot and fire to use for cooking. The woman stares at you with her mouth agape as you skillfully cut the ingredients and toss them into the pot. After some time, a rich aroma begins to fill the air. Even a passing cat can't help but stop in its tracks and look up in anticipation.
Please have some food. Who knows?
Sanjay
Maybe you'll
over
feel
here.
better after
Look
you
at
eat something
him.
delicious.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Wait, so as long as you pass the check, you can pretty much do anything, and it won't be seen as absurd?
Oh, thank you. Oh, you were right.
I love watching
This food
Farina
really
do
did
normal
make me
people
feel
things.
better.
It's so cute.
Why were you so worried earlier? Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Another thing this reminds me of is those D&D shorts, and one of my favorite ones was when you realize that it's a numbers game, and you can be as evil as you want,
So all the guards were
and it's like,
dispatched to fight
you
them.
burned down the village. No, you didn't. And then you roll dice and you just look at your comrades, and it's
Do
a
you
20,
remember
and
when
they're
those
like,
monsters appeared?
and you burn everybody. You eat the children. No! And then you roll 20, and you just look at
All
them,
I
and
know
you're
is
like,
that my husband was dispatched
and then it's just like,
3 days
you
ago.
walk up to her,
Do you know
and they're
where
like,
he
no.
sent?
And then he's about to roll the dice, and the short ends.
It all
Oh my
happened
God.
so fast.
It's like, what is he gonna do to her?
He couldn't even tell me where they were sending him.
You
I think
have
it was
our thanks,
Viva La
friend.
Dirt or something
We'll
like that.
find and
I
defeat
made
those
that one.
monsters as soon as possible. We sincerely hope your husband will be able to return to your side soon.
So I could be evil as I want as long as I roll the highest number?
Don't worry.
And it's like, oh no, don't give him ideas.
Remember when the
Try to
mocap
remain
actors in
optimistic
Baldur's
and
Gate
wait for
played
good
D&D?
news.
That was so
You don't
funny.
always get to choose what happens.
I think-
I'm a
You
stereon.
get to choose
It's just Neil Newbon. It's like, yeah, you are.
I hope that one day you too will recognize
My
the power
favorite
of
was the
something as
weird
small and
relationship that Lae'zel
inconsequential
and
as a
Karlach
delicious
had.
dessert.
No, Lae'zel and
Um,
Shadowheart. They were
I'll do my best.
gay. I swear to
You bid
God.
farewell to the woman and continue
Lae'zel's
your journey
hot.
further into the city.
In a
Ish.
weird way.
The nose, I can't get past it.
It's like she walks up to you and she's like, "Ah, I shall rip your innards." And it's like, why am I hard?
I'm a little confused right now sexually.
Like, you are making me really horny for some reason, but you look like a lizard person.
As you venture further into
Karlach
the
bursts into
The
flames and I'm like,
streets
why
became
am I
larger
wet?
city, an elderly woman walks past. You
Starts
see her shake
screaming.
her head as she
Oh!
puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
You a dick.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly, merchants are usually a good source of information, right?
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask a question if I may.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about
You do not
this
look
much?
like you sound like that.
What do you take me for? Some
Why?
old beggar?
That is a woman
You
speaking.
can't even buy half an onion with that amount.
Surely an
You
onion
see
can't
this?
be
You know what I
that
think it is? I think
expensive,
Clorinde is
right?
voicing the
What do
NPCs.
you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what
Because
it did
she's the game
before.
master.
If you're not gonna buy
She the
anything,
gang
just
master
scram.
already.
Oh, what a nasty guy.
She the gang master alright.
Talking to him.
Game master.
Gang
You
up in
certainly
here.
have
I hate
information
you.
you need. Traveler, can you think of something?
I'll persuade him, Navia.
Sir, we came to this
Have
city
you
to
seen
solve
the
very problem
The
you
Black
seem to be
Spider-Man
referring to.
meme
The
where
war you
it's
mentioned,
the Black Spider-Man
would it
suit
happen
and
to be
he's in
against
the
the
rain
monsters
and he's like
outside the
looking
city?
down all edgy and then it's like when they
You happen to
take
be
on
well
Butters and
informed
South
and know
Park.
what's going We'd
I shall
appreciate it
kill
if you
him.
could share the
It's so
information with us.
funny.
After all, the sooner this problem gets resolved, the easier it will be for you to do your business.
Remember every day I wake up and I wake up and I wake up.
So I love the Adam Driver meme. It makes me laugh so hard every time.
Remember the other dude who did it? Sorry, he revived it for me. The guy who talked to the woman last night that we found, and he interrupts her and he's like, "I wake
I
up."
hate that video.
It was so funny.
I hate that video.
I hate him.
He sounds like the absolute worst possible person to ever speak to.
Now everything else in that conversation, horrible, but like that part is so gold.
I wish we didn't have to watch the whole video to get to it, though.
Yeah, but he says, what does he say? Exactly.
Bunch of bullshit. I don't even know because his mic was so ass.
Every day but it's only at that part that his mic got good.
It's like every day I wake up in the morning, and in the morning I wake up, and then I wake up, and then I wake up in the morning. And I wake up every day in the morning I wake up in the morning. And I wake up every day in the morning.
And she actually got speechless for a minute. I think like she was so stunned by his stupidity that she was like, buffer, what?
Yeah.
Well, things are basically as you said, young lady. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade routes.
He's like,
We have
I'm
limited
sad.
reserves within the city, so if this continues.
It's like, why?
we're
Because
gonna
I
be in big
woke up.
trouble.
Wait, you're saying
Real?
that no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or maintain order?
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
You know what I honestly
This is
thought that
concerning.
person was? I didn't think it was
Alright,
Clorinde. At first I
that's all
thought
the
it was a
information
4-year-old.
you need, right? Off with
I
you.
was like,
Bro.
whose kid is this?
You know, if you
That's
smiled a little
crazy.
more, you definitely
It was
get
a
more
bodybuilder.
business. And I bet that would make
That's
your
why it was
life
so
just a
funny
little
to
bit
me.
sweeter. saying it's guaranteed to work. It's just a tip.
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
You know what I want? And it was in the old Zelda games, and it was always funny to me. You could just whoop someone's ass. They wouldn't die, though. Like, so for example, you know this chick right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would just be able to beat her ass, and, like, she wouldn't bleed. She would just have rubies come out of her. That you, like, the currency of the game.
That's crazy.
And, like, you could, like, pick people up and, like, throw them. And, like, but it wouldn't be anything in the story about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you would still be the hero. And it's like, I can just whoop the people's ass. It was always funny to me.
My favorite part of Zelda is being able to pick up a chicken and hold it above your head.
Did you know some chickens you can use as a machine gun for eggs?
That's absolutely fucking insane. I love it.
Like, you could hold it and, like, start shooting them.
That's great.
Before you
What
leave
happened to the
city's
fountain?
Central Square, you see a man
This
with a
isn't
simple,
actually
anxious
Mondstadt.
look on his face, pacing back and forth.
We're in Baldur's
His
Gate
head hanging
now,
low.
homies. This
He
is the
doesn't
real
seem to
Baldur's
notice your
Gate.
approach. Still immersed in his own thoughts, he shakes his head and lets out a long sigh.
This guy seems promising enough. Maybe I can get some information out of him. Hello, sir. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Wait, you're...
I'm...
Oh, dear goodness! You're a Marashose hunter!
You recognize us? Ah, are you one of the people who wrote the commission letter?
Yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come. Oh, what great news! The city is saved!
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. The first Marashose hunter, Casiodor, the Golden Hunter, he was the one who drove them back. However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or perhaps an evil sorcerer has been meddling in our affairs. All I know for sure is that their return has stripped this city of any chance at peace.
Are there not enough soldiers to drive them out?
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal with them. Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained
Why
to
is that
fight
so
against
hot?
them. What's worse, many of us don't even
Your
know the
face!
Marashose hunters anymore. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about
Yeah,
how
you
the
clean
Marashose
that
hunters
pipe.
drove back the monsters. So, on the off chance that
Your
something might come of
face.
it, I decided to reach out to you. To be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were just tall tales. But now that I've seen you in person, I finally
You
know
want
that
to
it was
play
true.
Outlast tomorrow?
Well, you can rest easy, friend.
Which one?
The righteous
Outlast
and
one.
formidable Marshose
Mhm.
hunters are on the case.
You want to play that game?
The man is
Then the
touched by your
DLC,
determination
then
and
two?
resolve.
Yeah.
Because we got all
His
of them.
eyes begin
I'll
to
play
well
'em.
with tears of
I
relief.
actually really liked two. A lot of people didn't like
If we are
two, but
going
I
to
really
hunt the
liked two.
monsters,
We're gonna
we
be
need to know
scared.
where to find them. Can you
Yeah.
give us any leads?
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. I'm afraid I can't point you toward a specific location. Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should run into a group of guards. They might know more about where to find the monsters.
I see. We'll go look for them then.
All right, be careful. Oh, and one last thing. The monsters
You know,
outside the
okay.
city are just part of the problem.
I'm
There
kind of
are
mad
evil sorcerers
because
inside
Red and Link
the
made a
city as
video
well.
yesterday,
So be on your
and it
guard.
was
They're actively
well,
working
coffee.
with the monsters.
and
They're
that sounds like they're gonna
corrupting
try
the
different
monsters with
flavors
malicious
of
magic.
different stuff mixed
They're
with
the
coffee,
reason
right?
why, even inside the city,
No.
everything is
No, they're
giant
batshit
mess.
insane, so they're gonna put
Even
things
one
in a
of our
coffee
kindest
grinder and make
ministers has
coffee out
turned
of it.
into boorish and unreasonable figure.
No.
Interested in nothing
Just different
but
ways to
enacting
grind
laws that
coffee.
exploit the people.
It was so boring.
Who knows how much
It is not
longer
what I
we'll be
wanted.
able to go on like
You know what I wanted?
this.
I wanted them to try forbidden coffee creamers. Like,
I feel
instead of
bad.
milk, what if I put
Maybe we
sriracha in
should
my
try to
coffee?
cheer 'em up.
I don't want to try that shit. I want them to try it.
Then it would be Willet Creamer.
Yeah.
You wanted Willet Creamer, not
That's-
Willet Coffee.
That's what I want. Wouldn't that be so
you should
funny?
comment that.
I'm gonna comment it.
Maybe they'll listen.
If they do, I'm gonna fucking laugh. Cause like, imagine them use mouthwash or something. Right?
You're not supposed to swallow mouthwash, are you? I don't think you're supposed to drink it.
Maybe it's you can look at it as like a minty mouthwash with coffee flavoring,
That sounds disgusting.
and you just spit it out.
Shut up.
Hey, not everything can be solved with food.
I appreciate your kindness, but for now, it's more important to focus on the crisis at hand.
Of course, they would have to start
I leave
with
the
something
future of
simple.
this kingdom to you.
Chocolate milk, easy. Willet creamer, yeah. That would be easy, and then like you slowly get into the worst ones.
If I understood correctly, there are currently 2 problems in the kingdom that
At
need
a certain
solving,
point,
right?
they just use
Mud.
fucking vinegar.
No, not vinegar.
We need to defeat the monsters outside the city.
You know, there's an
and take
actual
down
thing
the
where
evil
where
sorcerers
people started
stirring up
using
trouble from within.
But which problem
certain
should
type
we
of
tackle
oil.
first?
in coffee.
Well, this seems like a good moment for a break.
Let me look it up. I don't
Take
remember
some
which one
time
it was.
and
I
discuss
know
what you
butter
want to do.
works.
Let me know
Not
when you've
butter.
made your decision.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that. I totally thought the hunters would be treated like heroes.
Olive oil.
Well, Clorinde said the script took cues from the real history
Apparently
of
it's like
Fontaine,
really good for
Maybe
you,
the
but
real-life
all I
world
can
shows
think
that
that it would
hunters
do
are
for you
also
is just
treated
give you
like
the
that.
shits.
Okay, so you want to
I
know
wouldn't
why
say it's a
olive oil
perfect
and butter
representation
works?
of history, but there
It's
are
just
definitely
milk.
some similarities.
But
Would you like to hear more? about it?
more just the good parts of
Sure.
milk
As
instead of
long
the
as it
bad
doesn't
parts.
spoil anything in the script. You brought up bits and pieces of the
Okay.
hunter's history before.
So you know how
but
like
it was all
the
in passing.
liquidy part of milk,
Hunter wants to know too.
like
The hunters
that
were
makes it
super
like all like
powerful,
white
right?
and foamy
Were
and
they
stuff.
all from a special line of supernatural
Yeah.
beings or something?
We
It
shouldn't
does.
have that in our bodies, but the calcium and the
Uh,
vitamins is
no.
good.
All Narasho's
You know,
hunters were ordinary
milk
mortal fighters. The only thing that set
turns
them apart
into
were
butter
the
if
special
you
sword
do shit
techniques
with
passed
it.
down over the
Yes,
centuries.
butter is just like the good parts of milk.
So you mean
It's much better for
anyone
us.
could become a Martian
That's why some
leader?
people choose to only have butter and not milk.
In theory,
I mean, I don't
yes.
drink regular milk
All
no
you
more
would need to
because
do
it
is
makes my
survive the
stomach
rigorous
fucking
training and
destroy
master the
itself.
swordsmanship
You see what I mean?
techniques
I'm lactose
required to fight the
intolerant.
monsters. Still, most
That's
of
milk
probably-
all
at the
day.
early stages, and others called it quits.
Oat
when
milk
they
is good
saw
for
a
you,
monster
though.
in person.
That's a fact.
To become a hunter, you must be strong in both body and mind.
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight against? Oh, and the evil
Ugh.
sorcerer, the script mentions. Is their sister alive too?
She's
De
dying.
Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remuria. After that dynasty fell, monsters began to appear, intent on obstructing humans from establishing
Remember
a new social
Remuria?
order.
That was such a good world
One of the
quest.
ancient sorcerers of Remuria
I remember
used
my
his power
social
to assemble
security.
a formidable army of
What are you
guardians.
talking about? I'm talking
He
about
sought to use
Remuria.
that force to
She
establish himself
asked
as
about her
king.
social security.
No way.
No, she did not.
Don't tell me that guy was
It's
the
just a play on
inspiration for the
words,
evil
babe.
sorcerer
She
in the
said
script.
that the social security of the
We
land.
gave information on him yet. So
You got
why don't we
triggered.
talk about someone else for now?
I didn't hear what she
Well, I
said.
wasn't planning on going into anything you might be
You're
able to
like,
find
no,
out in
she
the game.
did it.
But
Because
if
that
you want me to
doesn't
talk
make
about something else,
sense.
then, how about Cassiodor, the Golden Hunter, or Egeria, the ex-Hydro Archon?
Remember
But
Cassiodor?
those people are all from a super
Yes.
long time ago.
Monsieur
Where'd you learn all this,
Ange.
Clorinde?
From my master.
And master, you mean Miss Petronia?
Oh, is someone you know?
Absolutely. Miss Petronia and my father were good friends. Back in the day, she would often bring Clorinde over to play, but then...
Let's not get off topic. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Responding to Egeria's call, a number of warriors followed
Triggered.
Cassiodor into battle against the monsters. this group of warriors, under Casiodor's leadership, became known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Yet, as Fontaine entered an era of peace, their work gradually
That's a
became
lot of blinking.
The Marechaussee
Are you still
Hunters,
there?
originally an association made up of hunters.
No, I have this
eventually
coworker,
came to be predominantly
and whenever I
composed of
say
nobles.
some shit, she'll start doing that.
I
Don't do that with
see.
my hair
That
down.
explains why most
Stop!
of the people in the script have
Oh my
forgotten
god, I'll
hunters
literally
or
throw this
think
at
of them as
you.
nothing more than adventures.
Do not.
Is that really a bad thing, though? It can get tough always being the one shouldering everyone's expectations.
Depends on who you ask, I suppose. If the name of the organization no longer commands respect, investigative work is bound to suffer.
Speaking of investigations, which problem should we tackle first? Monsters or evil sorcerer?
I vote monsters. That's the main duty of the hunters, right? We can come back to the sorcerer later.
Well said, Miss Farina. Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole thing, defeating the monsters could give us some clues on their intentions as well.
What about you, partner? What do you think? It's decided then.
All right. After some discussion, you decide to turn around and head out of the city.
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there, outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression in his eyes. Just one look, and you can tell he's fought in his fair share of battles. Although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and the sweat dripping down his forehead make it obvious that he's been wounded and is in
Thank
serious
you.
pain. I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier, so I'll only ask this once. State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Or it's off to the dungeons with a lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone's been this suspicious of us.
I said talk, not whisper between yourselves.
One
Have you
time,
ever heard of the Marechaussee Hunters?
Marechaussee
I had
Hunters.
fried chicken.
The
Okay.
fairy tale, you mean? What, do you expect me to believe in one of them?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It was good.
Nice.
Come here often.
Pick a card.
Any card?
Any card.
18. I'm so good at this game.
It's
I love this.
Using your knowledge of medicine, you're able to deduce that the injury on his calf was a monster's doing, and the wound has already begun to fester. As you check him over, he looks at you with suspicion and retracts his injured leg further back.
I'm a doctor by trade. Please, let me redress your wound. You don't have to suffer like this.
I'm a doctor now.
The man appears
No,
somewhat
you've
disgruntled
been a
at having been
doctor.
exposed.
I'm a
You got to
doctor
pick
and a
only
chef.
You got to pick
and
two
raises his
skills.
leg for you to
I'm
take a
super
better look.
good.
He allows you
Those
to
are your
apply
only
a
two
focus
skills,
of
though.
Specialized medicine
You
to
can't
the
do
wound,
anything else.
and it appears to
You
bring
can only
much
cook
relief.
and treat wounds.
My
The
balance
tension
is
in his
so
brow
bad.
eases.
If I stand for
Oh,
2
right.
minutes, I
Guess
fall.
you might actually be real Marechaussee hunters after
Bam!
all. In any case, you've successfully
Yo,
treated my
AVG
wound.
just tried to take hella money.
So, what do you want to know?
How much?
Do you know where we can find the monsters? Or the other guards who are fighting them?
Oh, is it finally over,
He
the
informs
trial?
you of the various
That should be like-
monsters that
99
appeared.
though? That's
He
fucking
looks in
insane.
that
They want
general direction
$100.
with a pained
Because it's a
gaze,
year thing,
as if a thin,
and we get 3
invisible
months
thread
free.
is pulling
until
on his
the free
wound.
trial was over. I guess it's finally
Some
over.
of
I
our
gotta
new
cancel
recruits
it.
have never even
Yeah.
dealt with a petty thief, and now they're out there fighting monsters.
And then Jacksepticeye tweeting.
If it weren't for this cursed leg.
Oh, please, sir. Don't get too worked up.
I don't know who
You
needs to
need
hear
to
this, but
focus
no
on
one
your
gives a
hunters.
shit.
Just leave the monsters to us. We're Marshose hunters after all.
Hearing you say that, a glimmer of hope flashes in his eyes. But it disappears almost as quickly as it came. Those monsters aren't easy to deal with. But if you insist on going, I won't stop you either. I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive. I wish you the best of luck.
I can't sleep at night knowing there's a boss in Elden Ring I can't beat.
Damn, that sounds like a skill issue.
Based on what
No,
the
for
captain
real
said,
it
we
is.
should be right
It's
there.
that boss you saw me fight.
Let's go. Hopefully we're not.
Dog, I saw you fight a lot of bosses. Shut the fuck up.
Who was it?
The fuck if I know.
Who was it?
Shit.
You know how like it was like that dude with the light magic and he guards the fog gate? You saw me fight him like a day or two ago? Damn, that's not gonna be much use. I'll show you him later.
Did you like my shrug?
So
When I
let me
did
explain.
that, I felt like Danny DeVito.
let me explain. So, you know how there's usually a grace before a boss, right?
You see numerous people
This boss
lying
has
by
you
the
go
side
through
of
the
road.
fucking woodwork and have you
They
go
appear
through
to be
like,
dressed like guards.
I want to say 10 minutes of just
Their
exploration.
faces are filled with
away from a
desperation
grace.
and terror.
And then if you
Some are
die, you go back to
screaming
the
and cursing in vain,
Maricrap or
as if
Maricap
still
shrine,
trying
whatever,
to
whatever.
banish the monstrosities they
But if
saw from their minds.
you want to go anywhere else, you have to walk back out. You have to run back out.
Okay.
It sucks.
Sounds like it sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like, you know how there's dungeons and usually there's a grace before a boss fight?
Mm-hmm.
There's no grace before this boss fight.
That sucks.
So you just gotta run from the grace every time. I find that bullshit.
Kinda sounds like bullshit.
A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back, they yell. It doesn't seem like there's any information to be gained from the area up ahead. You conclude that this area is best left unexplored at this time.
This is the place he mentioned, right?
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you, and downed trees riddled with terrifying claw marks. All the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating battle just took place here.
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters might still be around.
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged.
I'm gonna go wash my face real fast.
Yours suck.
Yours suck?
Yup.
Okay. I got you. Will someone who sucked do this?
Yeah. Yeah, he would. That was the saddest little dance I've ever seen. I just want you to know that. Dude, that was too close, okay? You can fuck around, but, like, don't get too close. I'm not trying to find out, okay?
You don't want to fuck around and find out.
No, I don't.
They close in on you without fear. You get the impression that, in their bloodthirsty eyes, you're just another meal for them to devour.
Gang.
Your battle
Gang.
begins now.
This card. 11.
You did it. Look at your team.
Bombs away!
Time to shine.
Let's get this show on the road!
The next battle round begins now.
It's how when Asmund Gold played Honkai Star Rail, someone in his chat was like, "So did you just spend $300 on a JPEG?" And he's like, "It's not a JPEG, guys." And then he went into combat, and I swear he died. He actually crashed when he said this. He was like, "It's a GIF." And he just froze. It's like he had a blue screen and he just couldn't stop laughing. Sorry, seeing all their ultimates line up, I couldn't refuse saying that.
No, I love
The
Navia's
monsters let
ultimate
out a
though. I'm gonna pull for
terrifying
her on
roar
her
of
rerun.
anger and resentment before dissipating.
At least they're not like the spells from World of Warcraft.
Dude,
goodness,
don't
it's over.
start.
We're lucky
No,
that our
I did
Thursday
something
night
on my
class
monk
came
class
about
and
with
he
preset
summoned a
skill
tiger
points.
and I was like, what the
Otherwise,
fuck?
we would have been in some real trouble.
I was like, what?
What did I do?
But it was fun at the same time, it was funny.
Isn't it just game over right then and there? Huh? That's part of the fun. The uncertainty of fate is what gives these games their appeal.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lab. Wait, could it be the thing that appears after every battle?
Alright.
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it.
I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it, right?
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to be made of wood. It was previously obscured by the large form of the monsters. With the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery, poking out of the ground like a shy flower bud.
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
Let's dig it up.
With everyone's help, you successfully excavate the wooden chest from the ground. Even without opening it, you can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest that it must contain quite the fortune.
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's open it and we can share what's inside.
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need this treasure more than us?
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt fighting the monsters. Wouldn't it be better if we gave the treasure to them?
Wait, is that how it works? I thought since we were the ones to dig it up, we could just take it for ourselves.
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game can impact the future course of the story.
But will the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marcia hunters. What if they think we procured the treasure illegally? suspicious of us.
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with an explanation in advance.
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food? Then we'll be ready to fight even more bad guys.
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late. Why don't we call it a day for now?
Wow, where did the time go?
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all or because the story is particularly enticing, but I feel like I could almost keep going.
Here, here. Ooh, how about we play through the night? I'm not sure I'll have enough energy for that.
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an earful if I get home too late.
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of the story anyway.
Oh shit.
Another location?
Mm-hmm. There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the next
Oh,
part of the
Phase
script.
4 for Season of Discovery comes out
You really
July.
pulled out all the stops for this new script.
It's good.
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Clorinde finish her story, right?
It's funny how Season of Discovery went though. It started with Phase 1. We're not gonna test anything. We want you guys to experience it as soon as we make it. Phase 2, where is everybody going? Phase 3, maybe we should have a public test realm. Phase 4, we're testing stuff for Phase 4.
What did they think was gonna happen?
Coincidence, okay? Besides, the Paimon Master
I don't know.
food feels even worse than having to buy our own.
That looks delicious.
And anyway,
Genshin
I don't
food always
really
looks
want to know
good.
more about Clorinde's master.
Well,
No lie, they do a good job.
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all in the past. It won't do any harm to share these things now. My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left me behind some time before that.
what a heavy beginning for a life story.
Master was a fascinating individual, if inexperienced in the ways of raising children. My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master
There's
removed
also
from
weed
her
out there,
waist
so I'm
and
gonna
handed to a
grab it.
noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child?
How dare
Isn't it dangerous? Did you hurt yourself?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. She just stood there and casually lectured me about it. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to
You
bandage
get
the
some more
sword.
weed next to you.
After that, it's time to learn how to truly hold a blade."
Excuse me for asking this, Clorinde, but how old were you exactly when all this happened?
Probably around 3, give or take.
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
Yep.
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial and error was the best way to teach a child what they're capable of.
So what should I get next? Dark Souls 2 or Sekiro?
Experience.
Yeah, that's this question already.
I
Sekiro?
didn't
Yeah.
see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And
I'm
I
not.
have no interest in Dark
children
Souls
don't get
2.
to choose how
Like,
they're
we don't
raised.
know.
Oh,
Dark
she
Souls
did
2 is the
bring
least
back a pet
favorite.
from Leo at once.
It's the
It was
ugly
a
stepbrother
geobishop hatchling.
of the mix.
A geobishop hatchling? For a pet? That seems even
There's a
more dangerous.
moth.
What she said was this: make sure to
Kill
get
it.
along, you two. If you
Why do
really
I
can't
have
agree
to
on
kill
something,
it?
just
It's a
settle it
moth,
with
not a
fun.
spider. I'll
Whoever
kill a
loses
spider.
is the real pet.
But you won't kill a moth?
And
Moths are
how
like
old were
easy.
you when this
That's why I
happened?
can have you kill it.
They're not easy. They just flop around all
5.
crooked and shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I
did
don't
she
even know
win?
where it went.
He's right there,
No high
trying to
west.
hide, right at the bottom
So
of the door.
you're saying you actually became the Geo Bishop's pet?
Yes,
I
but
can't
only
see
for a
it.
week. By the end of that week,
You're
I
like,
defeated
yeah,
the
I
High
can't
Boss.
see it. I
And
don't
we've
gotta
shared
do
a
it.
cordial relationship ever since.
That really
Hello,
doesn't
Shira.
sound like
Love
the
you
kind of
too.
childhood someone should have.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a Marechaussee hunter, but I never heard her bring up her own parents. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the
Damn
age
it,
of 6,
you know I'm
and to
triggered
hunt
from
monsters in the
that.
wild by myself the year after that. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met many of her friends during those days. That was also how I met Mr. Callis and his family.
I still remember the first time we met. You were too scared to join our picnic and hid behind Miss Petronia the whole time.
Holy shit.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time,
Whoa.
so I didn't know how
Whoa.
to interact with others.
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember? I don't think many members of the Spina ever beat you in one of those.
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed them too. Oh,
So you want me to teach you how to play World of Warcraft
I
more?
overheard Papa call your
We're
master
playing Genshin right
Fontaine's
now.
protector of
But,
justice.
like, I remember you bringing
We
that up,
tried to
right?
pretend like we never heard anything.
I'd be
but
willing to give
you
it another
nearly let it
try,
slip that one time.
considering I've got a character that's like halfway there.
You might like it a lot more. It's, they're trying to
Protector
give single
of
players
justice.
better
Oh,
capabilities.
Wait, you mean that
Good.
vigilante hero from 20
Not
years
everyone
ago?
has friends.
The one who was always active at night.
Or at least you want to learn
Yep,
so you're not embarrassed
would
when
be
you
her.
play before you start
She
playing
often
with
would put on
friends.
a black cloak and go out at night.
I get you.
I never knew where she went or what she was doing. Until, like Navia said, we overheard the truth from Mr. Callis that night.
20 years ago, huh?
No, they added a great thing. You could do dungeons with followers. They're not actual people.
My apologies.
Oh,
Oh,
you're shaking
there's no need
everything.
to apologize. You had nothing to do with it. And anyway, everything
The
she
house
did
is
was
gonna
for a good
explode.
cause.
Damn.
Although,
But,
calling
yeah,
herself
so-
the protector of order was a bit much. Especially when she
that in
deliberately
mind.
operated
Yeah.
outside the law.
Huh? When did the Protector of Justice become the Protector of Order?
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just come up with a name on the spot whenever she was asked. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just two. The Protector of Justice and the Protector of Order.
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the two she'd use by the time she got back each night.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual. With her strong sense of justice, it's no surprise her student followed in her footsteps.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her. Someone powerful, independent, and with a strong sense of conviction. But
But...
Hmm.
she suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10 years old.
Disappeared?
Dun, dun,
What
dun.
happened?
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note. I was never able to find out where she went. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When I returned home on my own, it was to an empty house. When she still didn't appear after a few days,
That's a
I
heavy
went to
weight
Mr.
off her
Callis's house
chest.
to ask about her whereabouts. He only shook his head.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but they never found any credible leads.
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of doing things, it all made a lot of sense. If I had to guess, I'd say she probably used it as an opportunity to force me to become independent. Just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age, the mother willingly leaves them behind.
Were you upset, Clorinde?
I was at first, but not anymore. I don't believe Master would suddenly disappear for no reason. There must have been something she just had to do.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps and become the greatest champion duelist in all of Fontaine. You're practically a living symbol of law and justice.
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her. Master always did whatever she pleased. But you're right. I suppose I do take after her in some ways.
Who knew Clorinde had such an interesting past? I never had the chance to ask her about it before. And I wonder if Clorinde's master were the champion duelist back then. Would that duel against Mr. Callus have gone differently? Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, Clorinde and Navi are probably thinking something similar. The mood just got super awkward all of a sudden.
Well,
She's overthinking this.
I will say the relationship with Navi and Clorinde is just very awkward considering Clorinde had to kill Navi's dad.
We really will be here all night.
Like, that's crazy.
I had a great time today, Miss Clorinde. Thank you for being our GM.
Anytime.
The script was good, but I got to say, your childhood stories were even better. Hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo Bishop sometime. Maybe your master was onto something.
You could be right.
What does she mean, onto something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time.
You have not met
Guess
Goku.
I'll head back as well. I
Fair
need
point.
to save my energy if I want to
Goku
continue
was
to
like-
the story tomorrow.
Beef?
You're that excited to hear about my fight?
Every time.
I was talking about the script.
Oh my god, that's not meditating in this game. Oops. I'm used to the Witcher now. Did they change this?
No,
Looks like it changed.
I don't remember it changing.
Let's go meet up with the group. Paimon's really looking forward to today's story.
Damn. No. Give me something.
No.
You're laughing because finally you can laugh at me getting nothing. Instead of you getting nothing.
A little bit.
You're like, yes.
It's not me anymore.
Looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday? There was an important
It's a
decision
bop.
to be made, yes?
What are you
I'll
doing?
pour everyone a cup of tea.
I'm dancing like Larry the Lobster here.
Paimon's more concerned about our current surroundings. Heavy walls, cold railings, dim lights. This is obviously supposed to be a prison.
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has never paid a visit to the Fortress of Meripede.
So the set is going to be a part of the script?
Unfortunately, that is something I can neither confirm nor deny.
Anyone think Clorinde's style is starting to look kinda scary?
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on.
Mommy Clorinde is
First,
about to
we should
spank
really
us.
figure out what to do with this treasure.
She's about
If
to
we're
turn
worried about
dominatrix
arousing
on us.
suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves a different name, just like Clorinde's master did?
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile. As long as we're helping people, it doesn't matter who we are or what we're called.
Staring at me over somewhere.
Stop it.
Or did you want some more tea?
I gripped you.
Why aren't you saying anything, Navia? Wait, what's
I
that next
do it
thing?
on him.
Oh, this is the short sword Clorinde mentioned last night. I found it.
Huh. I'm surprised you managed to track it down after all this time.
Well, I made sure to take good care of it, considering the circumstances in which you gave it to me. Of course I had to keep it safe. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. I was just thinking about all the potential ways for us to break out of prison. We could dig a tunnel, or try to bribe the guards. Wait, we haven't been thrown into prison yet, have we? Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just like how you should always have an umbrella on hand, even when it's sunny.
Alright, Paimon's made up her mind. Let's just give the treasure away. Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks.
Paimon's developing as a character.
So, you reached an agreement? All right then, we can continue with the story.
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure on the ground as well.
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the capital with your bag of loot in hand. The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere, but your spirits are surprisingly high. In places where sunlight struggles to reach, you generously share your wealth with the children, the elderly, and the poor in urgent need of help.
Thank you, kind soul.
The elderly
The
woman
hunchback
with
old
gratitude
lady.
follows you as
What
you
a
walk
name.
away. Her eyes
Why are
never
they
leave your
insulting
back
her?
until you move entirely
Damn.
out of sight. However, there's still quite a bit of Mora remaining. It appears you haven't made much progress.
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up. We need to hurry up so we can address the sorcerer problem.
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty responsible guy. I'm sure he knows the people here far better than us.
Oh, good idea.
Just as you start to make way to the square, intent on finding the man again, there's a voice.
Please wait, distinguished guests.
Several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you and proceed to politely pay their respects.
Greetings, gentlemen. Are we being invited for afternoon tea?
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who requests to meet with you. Please come with us.
Do you think this could be a trap?
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right?
I got
The
soup,
king
said
himself will have
Farina.
a fantastic opportunity to do that.
I say we go for it. If something happens, we'll just turn the whole place upside down.
That sounds a little intense.
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree to follow. They lead you all the way to the audience hall of the palace. Gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shelves, and silver candlesticks. The items appear quite ordinary in size and dimension, yet their presence somehow makes the emptiness of the hall feel even more surreal and ominous.
Wow, it's so luxurious.
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, sits upon the deep crimson throne before you. He wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set right at the very front. As you observe it, you see a complex pattern of light reflect off its surface. They're here, your majesty. A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields his mouth with his hands and bends down to whisper a few words to the king. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up. His gaze shifts to fixate on your group, but he does not move from his place at the king's side.
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings. The man by his side, though. We should keep a close eye on him.
The king remains still and says nothing. The minister is the one who speaks. Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. Unfortunately, His Majesty the King finds himself quite exhausted from work. So please allow me, his Prime Minister, to welcome you in his stead. I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your exceptional ability with the sword to repel the monsters near the capital. Such a great deed deserves to be rewarded. However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes, you'll forgive me for seeking to verify the truth by speaking to you myself.
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? So we'll just explain what happened. The golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down trees in a single swipe. It took a lot of effort to defeat them, even for trained swordsmen like us. Well, that was enough details, right? Believe us now?
Your account does
They're
indeed
so
match
cute.
those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated the monsters, that must mean you are also in possession of the treasure they stole.
Well, we did take the treasure, but...
How did he know about the treasure?
I'm gonna go make the rest of the coffee.
I'm getting tired.
Are you getting tired?
Yeah.
Okay, after this Clorinde quest, you want me to help you out there? Okay.
Then I must ask that you return it at once. It belongs to the kingdom.
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward? Shouldn't the treasure be considered a part of that?
Yes, that was indeed what I said. But you seem to have forgotten a very important distinction. Only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the rightful wealth of a kingdom without said permission, on the other hand, is a crime.
But that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, that makes no sense. If it weren't for us, the treasure would still be buried in the land.
So, yet the fact remains. You can't dispose of the treasure without reporting it to the court and without receiving permission, yes? What, no answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you, a group of legendary marechaussee hunters, sought to take the treasure for yourselves?
Well, what about the king? Is he just gonna let this guy talk for him the whole time?
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne. His posture is rigid and unmoving. He stares forward with an empty look in his eyes, completely unmoved by the events before him.
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil sorcerer? Or could both the King and the Prime Minister have fallen under the evil sorcerer's control?
I would like to observe the number of guards stationed in the hall.
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn. Sensing the tense atmosphere in the room, they stand at the ready, each with a hand placed upon the hilt of their sword, as if prepared to draw their weapons and surround you at a moment's notice.
There goes my plan to turn the whole place upside down, I guess.
It appears we've been visited by nothing more than a group of ill-intentioned imposters. What a pity. Guards, take them away and throw them in the dungeons. Before I decide your fate, however, I must first determine whether you have any accomplices outside the court.
Can't we try to slip away? Or maybe start some kind of riot?
But if we try to fight the guards right now...
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind all this. Let's just play it by ear. If you're scared, Paimon, just hold my hand.
You can have my hand too. Ha ha ha.
Aw, thanks, you guys.
You allow yourself to be led away by guards surrounding you on both sides. It's only when you begin to feel drops of water falling from the dungeon ceiling and smell the stench of death and decay all around you that you finally realize you've stepped into a completely different world.
Stay here, and don't try anything funny.
The guards lock the cell door and leave without looking back.
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall, but the only response you receive is the sound of water dripping from the ceiling.
No! What should we do now?
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands, of course. I draw my weapon.
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there. You now recall that your weapons were confiscated before the guards locked you in the cell. The bag of treasure along with them.
What about that knife I hid in my boot?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough search before throwing you in prison.
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be seen?
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on the cell door.
Oh, well, there goes all our plans.
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. This is where the script ends.
What? That's a terrible ending!
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of hint, or gives the GM some kind of code for how to move forward.
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison. Like, they'll only show us the way out once we've grown truly and utterly desperate?
That is a possibility.
If only there were desserts and tea in real prison. Oh, wait, guess it's kind of how the Fortress of Mirapede works if you're lucky.
Remember?
Oh man,
Before I
life in
forget.
prison.
Nadia, the short sword you had with you earlier. I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era. If I remember correctly, that style was last in vogue several hundred years ago.
Wait, Clorinde said that sword used to belong to her master, right? Does that mean her master has been alive that long?
I doubt it. The way she went about things often made her seem childish more than anything. I'd say the sword was most likely an heirloom passed down over time.
Hang on. A precious heirloom passed down to you by your master. And you gave it to me just like that? You weren't worried I might lose it?
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old key, and a good amount of junk she probably just didn't want to take with her. I gave you the sword back then, because I didn't want our friendship to end.
Wait, when did this happen exactly?
After the duel. Between Mr. Callis and myself.
Awkward.
Before that, Clorinde would have meals with us and even stay over at the Spina some days. She was on great terms with Papa as well. After the duel, though, there was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. She entrusted the sword to me and never came back. We were both sad and conflicted and totally overthinking everything as a result. Whenever I looked at this sword, I couldn't help but wonder if Miss Petronia had never introduced us to each other at that picnic. Maybe part of the sadness I was feeling could have been avoided. Back then, it felt like I hadn't just lost a father, but a close friend as well.
No one can change the past. The most important thing is that you two found your way back to each other and can enjoy things like this together.
Yep, you're right.
I'm sorry, you two. I didn't mean to bring up any sad memories.
Think nothing of it. No one here is at fault.
Huh? Oh, looks like the next part of our script is here.
Perfect timing. The situation was really starting to get desperate.
Nouvellette.
And not just because of the prison thing.
Arlecchino.
Corinne's face. I really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
All your main characters are already here. For this quest, anyway.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this lightless dungeon, you lack a reliable way to tell how much time has passed. Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold, and rust, and find yourselves alternating between fits of drowsiness and despair. Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside the door.
Heads up, everyone. Someone's coming.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice down.
Who are you?
I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity is the same as your own. I'm also a marechaussee hunter. Shh. I've already sent away the other guards, but if we make too much noise...
I understand, but how can we be sure we can trust you?
a king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before tomorrow's
In light of
sunrise.
the
If you
infruitable
want to escape,
crime.
it has to be now.
Executed? We barely did anything.
Monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure. Could this entire thing have been a trap?
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As for my identity, I have no way to prove that to you just yet. Infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me. I could go on, but I think we can all agree that now is not the time for details.
Have you seen our weapons anywhere, sir?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. Still, these weapons alone won't be enough to defeat the true enemy behind the scenes.
It does sound
His faction
familiar.
is too powerful. The guards are all under his control, and he's even stationed a number of golems in various rooms throughout the palace. To defeat him, you must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the Marachose hunters of the past left behind a treasure with the power to defeat the sorcerer.
You're not coming with us?
No, I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. I'll try my best to distract them so they don't go after you. As long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be able to aid you when the final battle comes.
In that case, please stay safe.
Thank you for your concern. I will do my utmost. As for the location of the vault, here, this map should lead you there.
Okay.
Got it.
All right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain from making any noise. I'll lead you out of here as quickly as possible. You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Marachose hunters. So please, get out there and reclaim what's ours. And be sure to exercise caution.
With the help of the guard, you successfully escape the dungeons. Your sense of despair and anxiety both seem to fade as you continue your quest.
Wait, we didn't get to use our skills at all while we were in prison. Who knows when we're gonna get the chance to use that cool summon spell?
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
That is a pity. Secret vault.
This should be the place marked on the map.
This bit of rock certainly looks suspicious.
Well, I'd say an investigation's in order then. Plus, if all else fails, we can just blow it up.
I love it.
Wow, you really meant that.
Before you lies a serene stretch of open water, its surface shimmering a brilliant shade of sapphire blue.